What's going on, everyone? It's time for another film review, and today we are going way back to the early 20s. I'm going to be talking about a classic silent film. Today we're going to be talking about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, this is like the 10th adaptation at this point of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The first one adaptation being in like 1908 or something like that. But this is the first like full-length feature film and the most popular one within like 1902 to 1925. So, yeah. It was released March 18th, 1920. It's over 100 years old. Almost. And, well, yeah, it is over. It's almost 102 years old. Anyways, it was directed by John S. Robertson, who's done other silent films like Annie Laurie, The Single Standard, Captain Salvation, and The Enchanted Cottage, if you've ever heard of any of those. But yeah, so the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is, well, Dr. Jekyll is, he's a scientist who gets obsessed with the dark side of human psyche. So he concocts a potion, and when this version anyways, he concocts a potion, and that will trigger his darker side of his psyche, which makes him have an alter ego, Mr. Hyde. And yeah, so and then he grows grotesque like hands. He has a hunchback. He has deformed facial features, and yeah, as he ends up almost becoming addicted to this, and it's harder and harder to transfer back. So, is it? You're not sure. It's more of like it's like a horror mystery type of film, and this is a silent film, and yeah. So basically, what he does is he yeah, as he's evil, he tries to find a way back to being himself, and you watch the progression of it's almost like a multi-personality disorder, or even like bipolar as we know it now. Some of these attributes of those mental issues are portrayed in the film, and yeah, they did a really good job. Now, this is a silent film. A lot of people probably don't really care for silent films nowadays. I'm a film history buff, so obviously I was going to check it out. I love silent films, or I find there's something so mystifying nowadays with them and that. So I've talked about a few of them, but it's been a while since I have. So yeah, but this one has really good planned out shots. Most of them are static shots, just like this one. But yeah, but the way like you could tell by John Barrymore plays the Dr. Jekyll, the lead, and yeah, when he transforms, you could his facial expression, you can feel the pain almost that he does. That's how good he is as an actor, and yeah, just the way, and it felt more like it actually seemed like some silent films you could tell they do it on a stage because it was like a stage production in the beginning, and you'd go to like an elaborate theater, and you'd get dressed up, and you sit down and you'd watch the silent film with a live orchestra in front of you. So they try back in the back in like the early between 1902 and 1925, I think it was. They mainly did it the same as a stage production with a camera, and the cameras are obviously massive back then. And yeah, so and then they take it, and yeah. But then this one here has the transformation scenes, and the way they edited it was really well done and put together, and it has some really good early makeup effects to go with it, and just the great, like, you gotta watch on a like a crappy transfer like I have, like on one of those like 10 film box set things you get for like $2. You find one of those and watch it on all its gritty glory. Yeah, it makes everything seem so mystifying and odd. It's almost like watching a dream nowadays, and just the way they did it, because the grittiness hides a lot of like the seams of like the makeup and stuff, and the way it's lit and stuff. Look, you don't know if it's like part of his actual flesh when he makes those faces, the certain faces and things, or if it's actually the makeup, and that's really good. And it has a lot of creepy imagery in it. And this film does have a good sense of humor throughout it, and it definitely has quite a good story. This is definitely one of the better adaptations of the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story. It has been attempted quite often nowadays, but back in like the early 1900s, it was everywhere from like up to like the 60s or 70s. They adapted it quite a bit, and this one is still one of the better ones that I've seen, anyways. And yeah, it's quite the good, fun time. And yeah, if you haven't experienced a silent film, check this one out. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't see any flaws with it, so I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. It's like I said, it's not going to be for everyone though, because not everyone's going to be into silent films. There is music, but then they have like a lot of cue cards they have to read. But yeah, once you watch one or two, it gets pretty standard. It's almost like watching a foreign film with subtitles, but not, you don't have to read as fast. So yeah, it's definitely a well acted, well produced adaptation, and it's definitely worth your time. I'll link like a clip to it, or even if I can find the whole video, the whole film on YouTube, I'll link it down below. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram, which is linked down below, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. I usually have the film title and hashtag, the subgenre of film and the hashtag, so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox is down there as well. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films, and it's at Derek P Reviews. So follow me on one of those two platforms to stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have any silent films or any films in general that you want to hear my opinions on, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get as soon as I can, and if I can find them. So, yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is definitely one of the better horror silent films. But we're going to take a break from silent films now. But yeah, also make sure you remember to subscribe, so hopefully we'll find something weird, obscure, and odd together to check out, or so you hear my opinions on popular films, which is going to be my next reviews, more of like the mainstream popular ones, as I am going to dive to talk about my opinions on Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So if that sounds like something up your alley, make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you know when that one goes up. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. Watch out for all those creepy scientists that have multi-personality problems, like in Dr. Jekyll, who becomes Mr. Hyde. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So till then, cheers.